We bring you the latest edition of MBC News with me, Hilda Ngomano. Our top stories. Ministry of Local Government cautions councillors against mismanagement of public funds. The Malawi Electoral Commission satisfied with the voter turnout in the ongoing parliamentary and local government by-election in some parts of the country. Government says the Democratic Progressive Party is not responsible for the sale of the Amarillis Hotel, saying the process began in 2023 during the Malawi Congress Party administration. Thanks for joining us. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Ben Piri, has called on local councils to exercise caution in the management of public finances to avoid corruption. Piri made the remarks when he opened a series of orientation meetings for councillors and other local government officials aimed at strengthening their understanding of council operations and responsibilities in Blantyre. Rashida Matandika has filed this report.
Piri noted that government is working hard to stabilize the country's economy, which the current administration found in serious challenges. He warned that councillors must not involve themselves directly in procurement processes, saying the law does not allow it. The minister emphasized that in their line of work, the councillors must respect the hard-earned taxpayers' money and align their plans with the Malawi 2063 development blueprint, which is currently the goal of Malawi's development.
Basically, we elected members are there for to provide political leadership. Basically, because we are political leaders, it is expected that we will provide leadership on the basis of party manifesto, which is governing, again, the Malawi 2063. If you recall, you'll find that the Planning Commission did invite all manifestos of all political parties so that they are aligned to the Malawi 2063, because that's exactly where all of us, regardless of which political parties we're coming from, agreed to go. Therefore, in our political leadership, we've got to make sure that whatever is happening is aligned to that agenda, because that's exactly the vision of this country. Number two, we've got to make sure that prudent management of resources are there. Number three is the separation of responsibilities. Ours is oversight. The Secretariat must do the administrative work under our oversight.
Meanwhile, the Malawi Local Government Association's president, Isaac Jomo Osman, has expressed his wish to have ward councillors and member of parliament have a mutual relationship in serving the common Malawian citizen.
It's my plea. If you remember the day that I was elected to become the president of MAGA, I said, I want MPs and councillors to work together as one family. There's no any different. We are all in government and we know what we want. People out there, they're looking for development. As soon as we have the president, we have ministers, we have MPs and as councillors. Together we can develop Malawi.
NBS Bank is supporting the training with 254 million kwacha, and according to the bank's chief retail banking officer, Victoria Chanza, their participation in the training is to enhance the knowledge for councillors who are drivers for community development.
It was important for NBS Bank to come forward to sponsor this orientation, because we know that these people are the ones that will be driving the councillors' objectives on the ground. And as a bank, we needed to participate so that we know that there is an awareness on their roles and they are able to deliver on what they were elected for. So it's very crucial, because these are the people that will be operating on the ground with the public.
The orientation marks the beginning of members of the council's official discharge of duties since they were ushered into office after the 16th of September 2025 general election. Rashida Matandika, NBC News, Blantyre.
Malawi Electoral Commission MEC Chairperson Justice Annabel Pinganger says the voting exercise in the by-election is progressing well across 4 constituencies and 9 wards. Pinganger said this after inspecting some polling centres in Chilobo ward in Kasia, Lilongwe. She said that due to the rains being experienced in most parts of the country, some centres are using classrooms and tents for voting to ensure a smooth process. Additionally, the MEC Chairperson has assured the MEC that MEC is working closely with network providers for efficient result transmission. She spoke to our reporter, Catherine Banda.
The outlook is great. The centers opened on time. We had slight challenge with the rains, but they have since abated now, and people are coming through. Our anticipation is that people will continue coming throughout the day until closing time, but so far our processes are going on well. The voters are being identified using the biometric voter verification devices as well as the physical voters register. But also our teams were quick to improvise to ensure that no voter is inconvenienced with the rains, so we are voting inside the classrooms. Ordinarily, we do so outside, as you know, by practice. But to ensure the voting experience is smooth and comfortable, we are using the classrooms.
In Mzuzu, the Malawi Electoral Commission MEC says the by-election in Luwinga ward is progressing well. MEC Commissioner Caroline Mfune made the remarks after touring polling centers in the ward. Blessings Gondre has this report.
Despite rains and chilly weather, voting at Luwinga ward in Mzuzu City North constituency started at 6 a.m. in the morning. Speaking at St. Augustine Primary School Center, MEC Commissioner Caroline Mfune said polling is progressing smoothly.
We opened at 6 o'clock, and one fascinating issue is that people of Luwinga ward have shown they are keen and interested to vote today, have their representative at the council. I would want to implore everyone in Luwinga, despite the bad weather, but I know it will clear up. Please come and vote, come and exercise your right.
At Area 1B, presiding officer Agatha Mkoresya said number of voters are gradually increasing.
Voting has started so very well. People are coming in, and we believe that by the end of the day, things are going to be just good as it has started. People are coming in, and we are expecting a lot of people that they'll be here and they'll vote.
One of the voters, Alista Kondowe, is encouraging fellow voters to come and vote.
We know that the development is very important in the society. So we know that councillors are the ones who are bringing development in the area.
The competing candidates are Thomas Kaunda, DPP, Wanangwa Kumwenda, Independent, Clavel Muhango, Odiazaki Alibe Mlandu, Arthur Mkumbwa of MCP, Mafuna Sempepo, Independent, Pachalo Nyoni, Afford, and Elines Sakala of PP. Blessings Gondwe, MBC News, Luwinga ward, Mzuzu.
And in Blantyre, MEC Commissioner Emmanuel Fabiano has expressed satisfaction with the voter turnout in the by-election currently underway in Blantyre West constituency. Fabiano said this during his visit to polling stations in the area. Speaking to journalists at Andiseni Primary School, he also encouraged those who have not yet gone to cast their vote to do so before the process ends.
The polling process is going on very well. We know that this is rainy season. It's been raining during the night. There are still some showers. But what we have noticed is that people are still coming out to vote. This gives us the impression that the people understand the importance of elections and their role in voting, and make sure that they express their right and responsibility as citizens of Malawi.
Now, what is your advice as Malawi Electoral Commission as the voting continues?
Well, one thing that we need to remind people, the voters in particular from this area, is that the voting ends at 4 o'clock. People must be on the queue before 4 o'clock so that they can vote. So whatever they are doing, regardless of the rains that are coming, people should make the effort to come out and vote.
So far, how many centers have you inspected?
Well, I've visited a number of centers. We are still visiting more. We should know that the Blantyre West is very broad. It's a very wide area, and distances are long. The roads are not as good, and there are 33 centers. We'll go to as many as possible during the day and before 4 o'clock.
The National Oil Company of Malawi, NOCMA, has refuted reports circulating on social media claiming that it has awarded a fuel supply contract to Zuneth Satar. In a statement, NOCMA clarifies that it currently does not have any running fuel supply contract with Satar, describing the circulating information as misleading. The company further emphasized its commitment to executing its mandate of securing reliable and sustainable petroleum supplies in the country while upholding the high standards of transparency, accountability and strict adherence to the law. This is MBC News, a reminder of our top stories. Ministry of Local Government cautions councillors against mismanagement of public funds. The Malawi Electoral Commission satisfied with the voter turnout in the ongoing parliamentary and local government by-election in some parts of the country. Government says the Democratic Progressive Party is not responsible for the sale of the Amarillis Hotel, saying the process began in 2023 during the Malawi Congress Party administration. Welcome back. Minister of Information, Communications and Technology, Shadrack Namalumba, has called on the public to desist from blaming the Democratic Progressive Party government for the sale of the Amarillis Hotel, saying the process began in 2023 during the Malawi Congress Party administration. Namalumba made the remarks following a presentation by MCP spokesperson on Finance, Economic Affairs and Decentralization Peter Dimba during his contribution to the national budget debate in Parliament. According to Namalumba, the Minister of Finance has no direct role in managing pension funds, noting that the Public Service Pension Trust Fund operates as an independent institution, adding that the Minister of Finance is therefore not responsible for the payments involved in the sale of the hotel.
This is what Malawians should know, that the origin, the architect of this Amarillis Gate is the government of Chakwera, is the government of my Congress Party. This thing originated, this deal originated from the office of the Secretary to SPC, the Chief Secretary then, Madam Mukoliniza. Why, when the trustees had discontinued the purchase of this hotel, she directed that they proceed. And she recruited, and this is clear, she recruited the other officers in the name of Mr. Gizaso, and Mr. Gizaso went on to become the chairperson of the board. And then, even after the government of Chakwera was gone, they proceeded with it. Now, to allege that it is the DPP government that is responsible for this irregular sale or purchase, it is not right. And also, I rose in the House to state that the Ministry of Finance, because there was an allegation that, and this allegation, misinformation came from the Chief Whip of Malawi Congress Party, to the extent that the Minister of Finance cannot be trusted, which is wrong, because the Minister of Finance in the management of pension funds, it doesn't have a role under the Public Finance Management Act, even under the Pensions Act.
Meanwhile, Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts has disclosed that all political parties have pledged to support the ongoing public inquiry into the sale of the Amarillis Hotel. Chairperson of the committee, Stephen Malondela, said this following reports that some committee members have been receiving threats from unknown individuals after unearthing alleged fraudulent activities linked to the hotel's sale. Malondela said the political parties have also pledged not to interfere with the work of the committee or the ongoing inquiry. He explains.
Basically, all the political parties, they've also resolved to allow the inquiry to proceed uninterrupted. In that case, we haven't received any contrary feelings or interjections from political party leaderships. So I would like to assure Malawians and assure all key stakeholders that this far your committee has remained focused and we will remain focused amidst all the threats.
Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Brighton Saka, has refuted rumors suggesting that people with certificates, diplomas and degrees will be required to pay a fee to renew their academic certificates. Nsaka made the clarification to journalists at Parliament Building in Lilongwe after Peter Dimba, spokesperson on finance, economic affairs and decentralization for the Malawi Congress Party, made the remarks while contributing to the budget debate. According to Nsaka, the claims are false and meant to paint a negative picture of the Democratic Progressive Party government. He emphasized that no Malawian citizen will be required to pay any fee to renew their academic certificates. He explains.
That story was false. That story is still false. It so happens that on the very same day we saw that story, we issued a statement saying that this story is false, and stamped the story, the false story, with a stamp saying fake, fake, fake. And we believed that Malawians have noticed that the story was false and have forgotten it. Until the honorable member came into the floor of the House, not taking seriously the seriousness of the podium, and repeated the story. He said it was rumor, right? He said it was rumor, and he repeated, oh, rumor for renewing certificates, payment of fees for renewing certificates. So I stood in Parliament to contradict him and to say that that false story was rejected. It is untrue, and it is unfortunate that the honourable member used the floor of the House, the floor which affords someone an opportunity to be heard throughout the country, to repeat a false story.
Inflation rates, the general rise in prices of goods and services, has dropped further to 24.1% last month from 24.9% in January. This is according to figures from the National Statistical Office. This represents a 0.8% point drop. The decline is on the back of a decrease in food inflation rate to 20.8% from 22.1% in January. A drop in inflation rate sends positive signals about the economy and positively affects the cost of living and interest rates in banks. In an exciting development for local sports, 14 football teams and 10 netball teams are set to compete in a newly launched league aimed at empowering the youth in Luchenza. The league, funded with a budget of 26 million kwacha, seeks to harness the potential of young athletes while promoting community engagement through sports. During the launch at the Luchenza Community Ground, Chimwemwe Chipungu, Member of Parliament for Luchenza, highlighted the importance of youth empowerment in various sectors, particularly in sports. This initiative is expected to provide valuable opportunities for young people, fostering skills, teamwork, and healthy competition. Yohane Chizomola compiled this report, being read by Norbert Jameson.
The launch of the 26 million kwacha Sports League in Luchenza municipality has ignited enthusiasm among football and netball fans, promising to keep the youth active throughout the year. This initiative has attracted 14 football teams and 10 netball teams aimed at promoting sports and engaging young people in the area. During the launch, Chimwemwe Chipungu, Member of Parliament for Luchenza municipality, emphasized the crucial role of youth in national development and highlighted the need for empowerment across various aspects of their lives to foster active participation. He pledged to advocate for the establishment of modern sports facilities in the municipality and to encourage ongoing community engagement in local development.
First of all, we want to keep our youth busy with sports activities. So as a party that is developmental conscious in terms of sports, and as a Minister of Lands, I thought it's my duty to contribute in the sports development in this constituency. First of all, we have to be developmental conscious. Together, me as their MP and our President, we can develop Malawi, we can develop Luchenza. They should refrain from bad practices. We should be geared to develop Luchenza through loans that we're going to get through MADEF, and again other activities through CDF activities. If we work together, Luchenza can transform into the modern secondary city that we are hoping to have.
Football Association of Malawi Competitions and Communications Director Gomeziani Zakazaka praised Chipungu for his commitment to grassroots sports, stating that the initiative aligns with FAM's objectives. He advised league organizers to adhere to established rules and regulations for a smooth and fair competition.
Normally, this competition sponsored by MPs are short, brief, targeting a campaign period. But this is a league, a marathon proper. 14 teams, 26 games for each team across board, meaning that it will take us maybe up to November, December when they'll be still playing. That's massive for Luchenza to have a proper league. This is going to complement our efforts. As you know, that as FAM we established leagues, district leagues last year that are being sponsored by National Bank of Malawi. And now to have a league also within the same district, it's massive for us.
The launch was attended by notable figures, including Deputy Minister of Homeland Security, Norman Chisale, along with other community leaders.
Netball Association of Malawi NAM has described the death of its former General Secretary, Helen Pinganger Tasosa, as a profound loss to the game. Pinganger died today at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital in Blantyre at the age of 65. Reacting to the news, NAM President Vitumbiko Gubuduza said Pinganger was a dedicated pioneer who played a pivotal role in shaping and growing netball in the country. Apart from being NAM's former longest-serving General Secretary, Pinganger also served as board member for the Malawi National Council of Sports from 2021 to 2025. She was also an administrator for Tigresses Netball Club, which she played for back in the years.
Netball Association of Malawi has received news of the passing of Helen Pinganger with profound regret. Her passing is a profound loss for Malawi netball. She was a dedicated pioneer and long-serving administrator who played a pivotal role in shaping and growing the sport in Malawi. As the former longest-serving General Secretary of Netball Association of Malawi, Helen provided steadfast leadership for many years, guiding the association through periods of development. She supported the national team, the Malawi Queens, over a long period of time, and also at Tigresses Netball Club. She was an advocate for discipline, greater exposure, and resources for players. Her work helped lay foundations for regional leagues, team management, and international participation, contributing to Malawi's great profile in global netball. Even after her time at NAM, she continued serving sports as a board director of Malawi National Council of Sports, where she supported broader initiatives across various disciplines. Her commitment, resilience, and passing inspired countless athletes, coaches, and administrators. Helen's contribution helped elevate netball from a grassroots level to a sport that brings pride to the nation. On behalf of Netball Association of Malawi, we extend our deepest condolences to her family, friends, former colleagues at Netball Association of Malawi and Malawi National Council of Sports, Netball Legends, Tigresses Club, and the entire netball fraternity.
Well, that item wraps up this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. Ministry of Local Government cautions councillors against mismanagement of public funds. The Malawi Electoral Commission satisfied with the voter turnout in the ongoing parliamentary and local government by-election in some parts of the country. Government says the Democratic Progressive Party is not responsible for the sale of the Amarillis Hotel, saying the process began in 2023 during the Malawi Congress Party administration. For the latest news, follow our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You've been with me here, Udangomano. Thanks for watching and goodbye.
This team, Mbola, Mene, muli Nkhani zeni. Nkhani zokutino muzitsate bwino.
Nkhani ngandonena kuti kandi kupanga chibwezi mnyamata iko zakafolo. Ndeti napita maloneka kuti tikatani kuti tikachezi.
Nandilo vanga jibwezi sina vile kuvaizesa magazi
ulokonzeka kuti muvena wamalizati amagaza
maliza temana nabwera nakangalira nani ankomera iyeyo ine sisinayendi
eni yake kuzifotokoza kusanthula komanso kukhuthula nkhawa zawo ndizikupatsirani programu imeneyi ndine mkhozi komanso mulutsi Andrea. Don't miss kuyambira April